Hello, everybody in the world. It's Michael E. Gerber speaking to you again from Carlsbad, California, and awakening the entrepreneur within. We've done this every week for the past, 15 weeks. You can find us on YouTube, but now you're here, right here, as we go through the process of introducing to you an extraordinary woman, an extraordinary CEO, about an extraordinary company that's been here doing what they do, perhaps for longer than some of you have been alive. It's called CEO Space. It's an absolute collaboration of extraordinary leaders to create extraordinary results, to do what I've been speaking about doing for the past 45 years, transforming the state of small business worldwide, awakening entrepreneurs throughout the world, and indeed transforming the state of economic development worldwide. I want to introduce you to my guest, the Lady of Honor, September Dohrmann. September, say hi.
Hey, Michael. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Oh, my delight, September. And I'd like everybody here who's going to be with us for the next 45 minutes or so to really get a feeling for who you are, what you do, and why CEO Space, the event we're going to be participating in together in Dallas next week, why it's such a phenomenon, and why, in fact, many people don't even know about it. Tell us about CEO Space. How did it start? Why did it start? Who started it? And what's it been doing all this time?
Yeah, so it started over 30 years ago. Bernie Dohrmann, my husband, founder, and Bob Proctor had come up with the idea because they figured that there's a more cooperative way of doing business. Business can be a dog-eat-dog world, and Bernie and Bob had come up with this brilliant idea to create all these cooperative, collaborative exercises and activities to do with business owners to really help to accelerate the growth of their business in a more easy, cooperative, collaborative manner. And so that's really the magic of what we're doing. It's founded on the idea and the law of reciprocity. You know, this idea that when you give first, what you need naturally shows up.
I've got that, and I absolutely understand that, and I've absolutely heard that, but I absolutely haven't seen that very much in my 83 years. Now, understand, I don't mean it's a fallacy. I don't mean it's a fiction. I don't mean it's something that, in fact, is unreal, unrealizable. I'm simply saying it seems to be in the world of business, in the world of competition, to be exactly the opposite of the way you've just described it. So when you say the processes of collaboration, can you give me some insight into what you mean by that?
Sure. So what really separates us in a lot of different ways is our style of networking. So typically when you go to events, they will have networking scheduled on the calendar to say this is the time to network, and people are going to go into a central location and just connect with individuals. But in our environment, our networking is structured. We play a lot of games that really just breaks down the barrier of these masks that we carry as business owners and as professionals, that we need to behave a certain way or we need to carry ourselves a certain way. But when we break those masks down and we just show up as we are, and we're vulnerable and we're transparent with where we are and what we're looking to accomplish, more work is done and more meaningful relationships are created. Relationship is everything, Michael. As you know, everything boils down to the relationships that you have. And our goal is to help make those meaningful relationships quicker for the purpose of moving each other's business forward.
I got it. But when you talk about masks, and of course, every single solitary human being on the planet, according to every single solitary guru about psychology, about philosophy, about operational integrity, et cetera, and so forth, will tell you that despite the fact that we believe we have a mask, or believe that we're getting beneath or behind or below, outside of the mask, oftentimes that's a mask in itself.
Sure.
So effectively, you look at the mask, behind the mask, behind the mask, behind the mask. My question is, as you work in CEO space, how do you know that, in fact, the person you're speaking to is authentically vulnerable in a way that you speak about collaboration? How do you get to the real person?
Yeah, it's, when you're in conversation with somebody, we all get a sense of something within that conversation. You can sense it. When somebody's opened their heart and they're speaking from their core, from their heart space, that's very different from when somebody's speaking from their head or from this idea of how they want to be perceived. So it's being in an environment where you feel safe. And there's a couple different things that we do to help create that feeling of safety. For example, everybody there signs an NDA so that you can talk about your project. And as you start brainstorming with these experts and other business owners, that wall begins to come down, like, oh, this is who they are. I can feel their essence. I can feel their authenticity. I can feel that they truly care about what we're talking about and they want to contribute to what I'm working on. And it's just this energetic game that we play with each other, that, okay, I'm safe with you. I can share where I'm at. As business owners, we all go through valleys and peaks. And we try to, in those moments of being in a valley, we want to say, I'm okay, everything's fine, everything's great, my world is perfect. But behind closed doors, we break down. We have moments where we need to cry in the closet, or we just need to lean on our spouse's shoulder to say, I'm having a rough day. This is hard. This phase that I'm in business is really hard, and I'm looking for support. And it's creating that type of community where people have that freedom to be able to lean into the relationships that they create inside of CEO space and call one another and say, I'm stuck. I'm having a bad day. What do I do? Where do I go? And with CEO Space, I've been with CEO Space since 2007. And I've built a beautiful circle of people that I absolutely trust completely, and that I can be vulnerable with, and I can be honest with where I'm at in my business. And I don't need to put on this facade that everything's okay, even when I'm a valley. I can call them and say, I'm stuck. Things are not moving. I don't see the next step in front of me. What do I do? And having that advice, the opinions, listening to somebody else's experience, it's inspiring. It gives me fresh breath. It takes me outside of the box that we stay in. Sometimes we need help to be taken outside of our box. So being surrounded by people who get it. Business owners don't always have a circle of people that are supportive of them. A lot of people have friends and family in their life that go, I don't get it. Why are you owning a business? Why would you do this to yourself? You don't get it until you're a business owner.
I got that. And when you speak about that, and you understand that I've been in the business doing that for now 45 years. So effectively, I know when you speak to somebody, you either feel like there's something in between the two of you, or that the door is completely open, and that there are no barriers or obstacles or what ifs or can't or not in the way. On the other hand, what I also know, having been in this world, in quotes, doing it, busy, I want you to think about chiropractor A in Dallas and chiropractor B in Dallas, each of whom owns their own practice. Then I want you to add in complexity chiropractor C, chiropractor D, chiropractor E, F, G, etc., all in Dallas, and all promoting their own service. And in fact, even worse than that, Chiropractor A does it one way. Chiropractor B is a completely different point of view. Chiropractor C doesn't believe in either of them, and so forth and so forth and so forth, which effectively is operating within the context, I'm going to say, and you can then respond to this, in a definable but limited market. In short, there are only so many prospective chiropractic clients to go around. Now, I'm setting this up simply as a real business problem. So effectively, chiropractor A sets about the path of positioning herself as unique and as a chiropractor that hears more, sees more, knows more, does more, blah, 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 blah. Chiropractor B is essentially setting himself up as smarter than she is. Chiropractor, you follow my point.
Yes.
I mean, it's the world of marketing. It's the world of limited options. It's the world of limited opportunities. Tell me how cooperation rather than competition meets that world head on.
Yeah, so for us, and what we find is that it really boils down to mindset. Do you have a mindset of limitation? Do you believe that there's only a limited number to go around? And our goal is to open people's minds and let them know that there's more than enough to go around. And for this particular example that you've presented, is that we all have something unique to bring to the table. Even if you're in the same industry, doing the same thing, going after the same clients, right? That you're going to resonate with certain clients. You're going to just click with them. And we all have a different journey that led us to where we are. So in the environment of cooperation, it's bringing those experiences to the table. It's talking about what each individual is looking to do next, and then contributing to that idea, adding to the idea, brainstorming, adding different flavors. And so it's really just about opening up and having a mindset of abundance, knowing that there's more than enough to go around, and that when you contribute to somebody, what you need naturally shows up. It's that law of reciprocity.
Okay, well, I hear about the law of reciprocity. Let's stay away from attaching ourselves to positions called the law of this, the law of that, the law of the other. While I was asking you that question, it came to my mind. So how would I approach that anti-competitive, you might say, very, very extensive cooperative situation that every chiropractor finds himself or herself in, attempting to alter the nature of the reality of chiropractic worldwide? So the name came up, the chiropractic connection. It just came up. I didn't start this meeting with that in mind. I wanted to say that. I was answering my own question while I was asking it. It often happens to me. So I want you to imagine the chiropractic collection of Dallas. And effectively, the lead chiropractor in Dallas who got this brilliant idea said, we've got to stop competing with each other. There are more people who have no knowledge of chiropractic and absolutely would benefit from knowing about chiropractic and being inspired to understand and relate to chiropractic through all of the chiropractors here who truly wish to cooperate with each other to transform the state of chiropractic worldwide. So right now, why don't we just start in Dallas, the chiropractic, whatever we called it, and let's see how we can organize in such a way that there's a chiropractor available to every human being who calls right now. And we have the ability to make that happen. We have the ability to perform in extraordinary ways differently depending upon each chiropractor in the collective or whatever we call it, and blah, 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 blah. Is that something like you do?
Sure, that's an example of it. Let's figure out how to work together to accomplish our mutual goals. I mean, isn't that what the foundation of what cooperation is that you get a group of people together, like in a mastermind, and they're all working towards solving a problem for an individual. It's like working on a hot seat when you're at an environment as well, too. During our capital class, we'll do that. We'll put somebody on the hot seat. They'll say, this is where I'm at in my business. This is what I'm looking for. And people throw ideas out. They share resources, they share ideas, they come up with new ideas, like a chiropractic collaborative, I think is what you said.
Yes,
New ideas. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, of course, then, if we were to approach that, the chiropractic cooperative,
Yeah.
effectively then in Dallas, we're suddenly then working on a prototype of a system that could literally be expanded worldwide. So you could have the chiropractic cooperative in Houston, you could have the chiropractic cooperative in name it. And effectively, because we're all committed to transforming the state of chiropractic worldwide, and because we're not simply taking that personally, we're creating a method through which all chiropractors benefit and all patients of all chiropractors growing exponentially benefit and having a profound impact, not just on chiropractors, but acupuncturists, massage therapists, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. So we're creating, you might say, a well-being model that is going to transform the state of well-being worldwide, starting out through chiropractors.
That's it. That's dreaming big. That's taking it outside the box right there.
Okay, so now that I've shut my mouth off, September, tell me about something very, very special that's occurred in CEO space that you'd like to share with the folks listening to us.
As it relates to CEO space as a company or within our member group?
Your member group.
Okay.
Because it's all about the people. It's all about the relationship.
Where to start? There's so many that are just running through my mind.
Let's talk about one that just strikes you.
Yeah, so the first one that comes to mind is two members in particular, actually three, but two members, Justin and Tonya Rekla. They used to be counterintelligence agents for our government, and they're very awake individuals. So it was a little challenging to work inside that environment. And before they came to CEO Space, they really didn't have a business. They had a 2-year-old daughter. Her name is Neva Lee Rekla, and she has grown up inside the environment. The Reklas now have 6 businesses that they're working on, and 2 of them are well into their 6 figures. They're very vocal about the success that has come from that. And what I love about this story is that they're, at the time, 2-year-old daughter, Neva's now 10. Neva has a platform and a business that's doing well herself. She has a podcast and she's running it really well. And she's just written a book, When Pigs Fly. It's talking about raising young entrepreneurs and how parents can support the young entrepreneurs. So that's just one story that I can think of. And it's just fascinating to see how, as relationship develops, when people build these relationships, just how the business evolves. And it's not always a connection that people will get directly from CEO Space. Oftentimes it's a connection from somebody within CEO Space that connects them to somebody outside of CEO Space to move their business forward. So that's one story that comes to mind.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
so speak to me about relationship. Okay. I had just had a fascinating conversation with an extraordinary Jewish leader who puts on camps for kids in New York, New Jersey, that area. So successfully, they put 3,000 kids a day through camp, all summer long. And he said, because he heard me speak at an event in New Jersey about 6 months ago, and it just blew him away. And he said, all of us know you, Michael Gerber. And I said, oh, I'm delighted you know me, but we haven't spoken before this point in time. He said, yeah, but we know you. We do you. We, in fact, live exactly what you teach in a way that would absolutely confound you. We're so moved by the work you do. So I said, that's extraordinary. And he said, you do know at the heart of everything, in the heart of all of our success, is relationship. So this is why I'm telling you the story right now. He said it's relationship. Because without relationship that we have with the kids, without the relationship that we have with their parents, without relationship that we have with each other in the camp, without the relationship with all of the people in this institution, that organization, et cetera, and so forth, nothing authentic would ever happen. So it's about authentic relationships. And I said, yeah, I hear that. And his name is Dove. I said, but Dove, I know about relationship. I've been married 4 times. So you got to understand, I've obviously got a problem. I've obviously got a problem. Now, hear me. I'm not saying that it's their fault, because I'm smart enough at my age to know that I've got a problem. But I say, in fact, that the problem wasn't and hasn't been the relationship between us. It's been about the relationship within us. So, in fact, if I don't have a relationship with all the parts of myself that are in constant conflict with each other, I obviously wouldn't have a problem with a relationship with another. And so tell me about relationship as you speak about it at CEO Space, that relationship that must exist within every participating person. You speak about vulnerability. Who is vulnerable? Because there's this one part of me, there's that one part of me, there's this other part of me. We all know about that. It's the part of me who loves this, there's a part of me who hates that. There's a part of me who's very social, and there's a part of me who is truly anti-social. And the guy who's social is significantly different when he shows up than the guy who's anti-social when the two of them show up. So you understand, the social guy is speaking to the non-social guy and said, Gerber, shape up. And Gerber, who's non-social, is saying, screw you. And there I am in the midst of a whole covey of other people who've got exactly the same problem, and nobody's talking about it. So tell me how you deal with that in the CEO space.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's human nature, right? We all have that. We all have layers of our personality. We're moms and dads and daughters and sons and cousins and nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles. And that all has a different hat. We wear all these different hats. For me, I can only speak from my firsthand experience. You had brought up or made a comment towards, it's really about the relationship that you have with yourself. And I can say that as I've really dove into myself and became more connected to who I am, and to be clear on who I am, and to show up more authentically, my relationships in my life have become more meaningful. I have more to contribute to my relationships, and those relationships have more to contribute to me. And so inside of the environment, to go to your question, what do you do inside this environment? Well, first of all, there's a tone that we're all here to work towards our business. So everybody's showing up wearing their business hat. And we're 5 times a year. We can talk about that later, but we are 5 times a year. And the beautiful thing about being 5 times a year is that as members continue to come back and to see the same, new faces and same faces, you have more opportunity to build relationship with, to see more sides, to open up just a little bit more with the person that you connected with before, to report back your win and all of the great things that's happening in your business, and learn that flavor of personality with that individual. So it's the human game. It's who we are. There's no other way to show up other than in all the different colors and hats that we wear. And depending on what's going on in our life will really depend on how we show up for other people. What part of our personalities are we going to reveal this time based off of what's going on in my life? And so it goes, a lot of that relationship development also goes back into the games that we play, the activities that we play during CEO Space, so that we can see the playful side, so that we can have more fun. A lot of our faculty and our members will go across the street. There's this really cool bowling alley and laser tag place I know it's like, bowling alley, really? But they've really beefed it up. It's really unique. Anyways, a group of people will go there Friday after our event and just play together, get to know one another. There's just a movie theater across the street as well too, and people will spend time there and just hang out and get to know each other on a personal level. Like, hey, I click with you. I'd like to get to know you a little bit more. And in time, we just develop that trust with one another so that we can share where we are and be more vulnerable. And what we find in that is the more open we are, the more we get done in our business, the more goals we reach, the more we excel at what it is that we're set out to do.
Super. So let me ask you a question about that. So you talk about 5 events a year.
Yes.
Are those 5 events all held in Dallas?
They are currently all held in Dallas.
Okay. And are those audience, those members? So you join, you
Correct.
become a member of CEO Space, which means then those members repeat. So they come to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, hopefully.
Typically, most of our members will attend 2 to 3 a year. Based on
2 to 3 a year?
Yes, based on what's happening in their business.
Okay. And when they come, is the idea that we're going to renew it each time we come together? Or we're going to be meeting new people each time we come together and starting the process anew?
Yeah, so the content's always different. I mean, there's plethora of topics that we can talk about inside of business, from marketing to leadership, the internal game. Bernie is famous for saying, nothing will grow you more than growing your business. Lord, that is so the truth. I heard it, I understood it, but you don't really get it until your business molds you, it shapes you, it polishes you. So 5 times a year we have those. The content is always changing. Our activities are the same and the faces are new. You'll see similar, you'll see familiar faces and you'll see new faces every forum.
Wonderful. So I'm going to be speaking to CEO Space this coming Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yes.
Yes. Right. I got it.
The
25th. So I'm going to be speaking to CEO Space next Thursday. And I'm going to be speaking about Beyond the E-Myth with love or something like that.
Yes, something like that.
And I'm going to be doing 60 minutes worth.
That's correct.
Now, here we are in front of everybody, and we're talking about something which I haven't done yet, something which I'm going to do, and something obviously which we each hope will turn out miraculously. And in my own whatever way, I'm going to be telling a story to everybody in that audience. And obviously the story that I'm going to be telling and sharing with everybody in the audience is exactly the same story I've been telling to the folks who have been joining us here. Whether they get tired of it or not is irrelevant. What is really true is that they have got to hear this story again and again and again and again. I've learned that over 45 years. I don't want to become stuck in a mindset that says, I've got to. I've just done it so many different ways over the past 45 years with literally hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of people in every imaginable kind of business, in every economic state, at whatever point they happen to be in front of me. And I know that the message is absolutely critical. So I want you to share with me, given that you've had people obviously speaking like I'm going to be speaking for 60 minutes in front of an audience, your members, and those who may come members. If I were to be really, 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 really effective, what would be the message you want me to deliver to your audience in those 60 minutes?
A message that sets at your core, not something that sets in your mind or your brain, but at your core. Share from your heart, share from who you are, from the experiences that you have, with the intention to help somebody else. That's it. It's that simple. You set the intention that I'm going to show up to help somebody and I'm going to pour my heart out.
Come on. I can't help but do that. I mean, I've been doing that. I mean, yeah.
That's why we're aligned. I mean, what else can I say?
And my absolute experience, and I repeat this again and again and again and again, you'll get sick and tired of hearing me say this. I said, whenever I speak to an audience, there are 3 different reactions. about a third of them love me, a third of them absolutely hate me, and a third of them have no clue what just happened. So understand, that's what happens every single time I speak.
Awesome.
Now, I tell sponsors who are bringing me to speak about that, and they begin to look a little strange if we're on a Zoom call together. Tell me more about the ones who hate you, and tell me more about the ones who don't know what happened. Because I'm delighted that a third of our people are going to love you. But I'm really concerned that a third of our people are going to absolutely hate you, and a third are going to be completely confused by what you say. Tell me about that, Michael. What can I tell them but the truth? You follow me?
Yes.
Yep. What can I tell them but the truth? You used a word, you said it's the human condition. Now, unless your audience, the people we're going to be visiting with on Thursday, this coming week or the following week, whenever that is, I'm already booked, so I know I'll be there. Tell me what that they hate me or they were absolutely confused would look like in your organization.
Geez, that's a good question. That's a good question. You stumped me on that one.
Okay.
I think if I find when I look back, see, we survey process, so we always get feedback off of our customers. We're always looking to learn more. Is that typically it's the message didn't resonate, that the person can't relate to it. It just didn't resonate with them. They enjoyed the talk, they liked the energy, but the message in itself just didn't relate. And it's more of like a, oh, well, next. And they just move on to next. Yeah.
So we know, you and I know, we all know that my message has been written now 30 times in 30 books I've published. We already know that the E-Myth message, which is what I'm hopelessly enslaved by, the E-Myth message is at the core of everything I do. And the E-Myth message is the entrepreneurial myth. And it essentially says that very, very, very infinitesimally small number of small business owners are actually entrepreneurs, that the vast majority of them are what I call technicians suffering from an entrepreneurial seizure. They hated the job, they hated the job, they hated the job. They said, I got to go out and do my own thing. I got to go out and do my own thing. I got to go out and do my own thing. And the presumption was, because they know how to do the work, whatever they were doing, they could do it and create a business of it. So the carpenter starts a carpentry business, the plumber starts a plumbing business, the electrician, you get my point.
I do.
And the first thing they do is go to work, obviously. Doing it, busy, 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 busy. The presumption being that if I know how to do the work, I know how to build a business that does that work. And in fact, you're shaking your head. No, they don't.
No.
They don't know how to build a business that works. They don't even know what is required of operating a company that is intended to grow.
Yes.
So when I speak about this, it creates an immediate conflict with the mindset that exists in everybody's lifestyle business. And understand, I immediately tear apart that whole word lifestyle business. Stupid, solopreneur, stupid, etc. I challenge every single perception in the room.
Okay.
I've been doing that for 45 years. I piss everybody off. Now hear me, I can't help but piss everybody off because I'm telling them what they don't want to hear. And in fact, because they don't want to hear it, because it challenges the status quo, they get angry. Now, literally, I mean, they don't necessarily throw stuff at me. You understand? But September, if we were in that room for a week, I will guarantee you it would ultimately come out. Yeah, but what if I don't want to? Yeah, but what if I really enjoy what I'm doing? Yeah, but you follow me?
I do.
Yeah, that's the living truth of it. So in my context, which is I'm coming there to share, I'm not coming there to share it to beat people up. I'm coming there to share it to wake people up to the opportunity, the extreme opportunity to transform the state of chiropractic worldwide, to transform, you follow me, as I said earlier. But I absolutely know what happens. My question, and this is really a serious question, I'm not positing it as a serious question because it's not. My serious question is doing what I'm going to do. And effectively, the key part of beyond the E-Myth is essentially saying you're creating a product for sale. A business is a product for sale. Ultimately, the question is, what's your end game? Because if you don't have an end game, I guarantee you, God does. And it happens. That's where the expression came from. Shit happens. So what are you doing to prepare for it? And so beyond the E-Myth really is saying preparing your company for sale from day one, not from day 50, not from day 3062. So my message is all about that in an hour. Now, obviously, to make my point in an hour, I've got to be somewhat like I am right now with you, and effectively completely open. I mean, completely open to the possibility of what will occur in this thing we're going to be doing together in Dallas, and completely open to your thought right here. So do you have anything to say about what I just said?
Yeah, the way I see that is you're challenging people. And when we're challenged, it ruffles our feathers. Like you said, people don't want to always hear what they need to hear. But when we sit with it for a moment and process it, we learn to appreciate those moments of being challenged. Think outside your box, that if it was working, you would be further along and reaching your goals that you want. So what you're doing is not working. Let's think of another way. Let's get you outside the box. Let's think of other ideas to add. But I love being challenged. And I find that a lot of our members do as well, too. That what we attract and what we look for is high achieving business owners. And those high achievers are hungry to grow. So they appreciate being challenged. They appreciate being pushed outside of their box and say, there is a better way of doing this, that what you're doing is not working. And I find that to be the case inside our environment.
Super.
I'm looking forward to being challenged. I hope you challenge me. Bring it on.
I'm looking forward to it too. September, I just absolutely loved having you here with us.
Thank you.
Absolutely loved it. I have any questions you'd like to ask, any thoughts you'd like to share with the people who are watching us?
It doesn't have to be CEO space, but if you're a business owner, get connected to a tribe of people that get it. People that you resonate with, those that can challenge you, that can celebrate with you, that can be there to support you and guide you. Find a tribe. You will grow faster. You'll grow not only your company faster, but you as an individual, you will grow faster and reach your goals. You will be able to have that dream. It is totally possible. You just have to surround yourselves with people that believe in you and that will push you towards that and that have the resources. That's the other piece as well, too. It's not enough to find a tribe. You got to have the resources that you need to move all the way in your business. Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I can't imagine any questions that are coming up. You were so thorough, and I just really enjoyed the conversation, Michael. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, September. A delight. So, folks, you heard us. Every other week, we're going to bring you absolutely stunning people. And these are stunning people who are stunning because they have been so challenged and so absolutely ready to be challenged by what is perceived to be impossible. Impossible forces, impossible economic circumstances, impossible lack of information, knowledge, experience, whatever it might be. But what you're going to hear here is not necessarily people like you. They're going to be people who, like you, started a long time ago and did something that most people will never do. And in the profound intermediary between that, they discovered solutions that you will never see by yourself. That's why we call it awakening the entrepreneur within, because the entrepreneur is absolutely critical to the foundation of any great growing company. And as Bernie Dohrmann would say, it must grow, because that's where you learn to become who you're not and who you potentially are meant to be. The entrepreneur, the dreamer, the thinker, the storyteller, the leader. This is Michael E. Gerber saying thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you, September, for being here with us, for sharing your wisdom, but most importantly, for sharing your heart. We love you. We love being here. We'll see you again, folks. Bye-bye.